The situation in the Gulf is dire, especially for wildlife there, as birds turn up covered in oil. Our resident veterinarian and early show correspondent, Dr. Debbye Turner Bell, is in Venice, Louisiana, with a look at what is being done to save the wildlife. Debbie, good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Well, I visited 2 animal rehab centers yesterday, one for birds, and we were given exclusive access to the Audubon Nature Institute's Rescue Center for sea turtles. Many of these animals need medical intervention, but the first order of business is to get them clean.
They are a brown, oily, sticky mess, and this is where they first come for emergency care.
The thing that concerns us the most, and that's most likely to kill a bird, is just the inability to feed itself, inability to drink.
150 birds, mostly brown pelicans, have been brought to the Fort Jackson Bird Rescue Center.
Before the birds are evaluated and cleaned over there, they start in this holding pen. Look at this, it's heartbreaking. Here are 28 that just came in, soaked in oil and exhausted.
Ironically, the cleaning process starts by applying more oil, canola in this case. The birds are then cleaned with a simple solution of dishwashing liquid and water. A painstaking full hour of scrubbing, rubbing, and rinsing to rid them of this toxic crude. It's a race against time, as it is with sea turtles, already an endangered species. On Sunday, biologists plucked 4 more alive from the Gulf. They also recovered a dead turtle.
I know you've done this before and you've seen a lot of things, but what does this do to you?
Well, it's frustrating, it's upsetting.
Here at the Audubon Nature Institute, they're more concerned with the oil ingested by turtles. They need medicine to protect their internal organs.
This is the antibiotic that we're using to cover potential lung damage or gastrointestinal damage.
Mayonnaise helps safely break down the oil in sensitive areas like the eyes.
When you see these animals come in covered with oil, what kind of reaction is that for you, emotionally, intellectually?
The emotions come later, you know, at night when we're done working. Our job when they come in is just to do the best we can.
As bad as these animals look now, their prospects are surprisingly bright. The image so seared in our minds, that pelican covered in oil, is amazingly a part of this group, now almost ready to return to the wild.
We tell people 50 to 80% chance or even higher that they'll survive. I mean, we have spills where 100% of them survive.
The current sea turtle success rate is also around 80%, but optimism is tempered by fear.
It's literally going to take years, if not decades, to fully understand the impacts to the environment.
And the truth is, this really is the tip of the iceberg. They don't know how many animals are going to be affected. And Harry, when they get the animals clean and they're rehabilitated and go back into wild, now the question is, where do you release them? If you put them back out here, they can come right back in oiled. There's one thought that they might release them in Florida, which seems odd to me, because that's directly in the path of where the oil is projected to go.
Well, there are no good.
This is long from over.
No good immediate answers anyway. It's interesting to look at the process of cleaning these animals. The mayonnaise on the eyes of the turtle, so interesting. Is this different from how animals were cleaned at the Exxon Valdez?
A lot of the techniques that they're using now, they perfected with the Valdez oil spill, but this oil is different. That was a fresh spill. It was in cold weather, and so the viscosity, the thickness of the oil was different. Because this oil has been out on the ocean and weathered, it's thicker. They call it like a mousse, so it's taking a lot longer to clean these animals.
Wow. And so typically,
Harry,
if you can clean up a bird and get it rehabilitated, how long will they keep it at one of those centers before they try to decide whether or not to release it or ship it down the coast?
If it's a healthy bird, really they just bring them in, let them relax a little bit because of course they're stressed. They clean them up, let them relax from the cleaning and let them go. That's a process of 4 or 5 days. Of course they'll keep them as long as they need to if they're not healthy and they're sick. That can be up to 2 or 3 weeks.
Dr. Debbye Turner Bell, thanks very much for your expertise. Do appreciate it.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.